Gramps told me a story too about how basically alien beings came and introduced. I mean, we had always had. We either liked people or we killed them. We didn't enslave people. There was hierarchy within families, but it seemed like human beings had an instinctive knowledge that a slave wasn't that useful. They would make you weak by making you not practice things that you would need. Maybe people tried it sometimes. It was not a thing. It was like an anathema. It was just like you saw somebody enslaving someone and he said, "Hey buddy, eat that guy and use the energy to do your own work." It wasn't like it was like we worried about it. But anyway, so these people came from outer space and were I don't know, a hole in the earth or God only knows what, and then they have this technology and they're drawing people to them and teaching people concepts that this experience you're going through out in the wild, this is negative. This is causing you harm. Why don't you live here where you are protected from that? In exchange, though, you need to tolerate these kinds of things instead. And among this, we got to limit your development. Now, gradually, the human race changed, and certain traits in our genome became linked, maybe inextricably linked, with people who converged with this idea that, which it didn't only happen on this planet. The Shoggoth had this as well. Is that they have this really discursive little thinking. They've put a lot of their brain into kind of an imaginary world. And this is where their identity lives. And in order to sustain this imaginary world, they have developed this very hardened and very consistent mode of interaction with other people and the world around them. So these are not people that are being cultivated, right? But I'm not saying they're bad people. And if you crack these people's shells, this imaginary world is just goo. It's not connected. Some people, sometimes you crack their shells and their goo kind of grows and it turns into something. Most of the time it's just shit. And but different people have different proportions of this. And so you can interact with them on a cultivation level, maybe 2 or 3%, maybe 10%, maybe 50%. If you exceed that level, they go haywire. And so that's why, some people, like for me, like I said, I'd rather work with people who are developing. In my coulda, shoulda, woulda world, and decide, young people who aren't yet mature, aren't yet strong, who will become strong, and figure them out a little bit, and contribute to their process a little bit, and then appoint them or assign them to some further thing where they can expand themselves, be more autonomous. Other people don't participate in that, and they are good at managing people who are solidified, who don't want you in their private space, but their private space could be contained in a living room. So, and those people do make a good workforce. And you cannot achieve certain levels of advancement without that kind of people. But you also can't achieve that kind of advancement unless you allow the people who can be cultivated to be cultivated, because you need them to innovate.